Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Loving Julie Reaction. I want us to watch this collection of videos and see why white folks are giving up with this government that they voted in so badly. Kindly watch till the end and I'll be back with more comments. This video is for education purposes and all credits goes to the original owner of the video.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
I didn't care how things were affecting others until it affected me. Am I proud of that? No. We live in a very cruel world, and sometimes the only way to survive is by being selfish. We are all just out here trying to survive as best we can. And although we may have good intentions and we may be empathetic and we may be compassionate, we will always put ourselves first because we have to survive. And if that means making a mistake in my vote or maybe putting my trust in the wrong person like I did, then that's what it means. I will always put the betterment of my family and vote in ways that I think will help my family above anyone else.
Here's the problem with voting for your self-interest. I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're on the bottom and none of your needs are fulfilled, you can only think of yourself. But here's the problem with that, is you voted for your self-interest. So did everybody else in the Republican Party. Think about that for a minute. You voted for your self-interest, but you don't have anything. Like, you don't have anything. Like, that's what it is. But other people, rich people, they have a lot. So of course they're going to vote for their self-interest because they have something. You don't. You need the tribe, right? The socialized healthcare, the socialized dental care, schools, firefighters, police officers, all socialized systems. Is it clicking yet? You voted against the tribe. You know, humans didn't make it on their own. We always existed in a tribe, taking care of each other. You could only take care of yourself if you have something, and you don't have shit.
I left the left a couple of weeks ago, and I would just like to apologize anyone who saw any post, comment, repost of mine that had any sort of leftist ideology and propaganda. I was so wrong. I can't even begin to explain how it feels to realize that you've been fed propaganda for years. For 32 years of my life, I have been an independent but left-leaning and Democratic voter. I'm so sorry. I fell right into the propagandist, radical, leftist craziness. Please understand that the woke mind virus is very real. It's very real, and it is embarrassing as hell coming out of something like that. However, I'd like to say that I am so grateful to every Republican and conservative that has been so kind to me and welcoming and forgiving. I'd also like to apologize to the autism parent community. I took part in the propaganda about eugenics. I made several cringy videos about eugenics in regards to what RFK was doing and what Trump was doing. And I was so wrong. Not only was I wrong, but it is absolutely inappropriate for me to have judged any of you for wanting a cure to autism or just information about autism. I myself have a profoundly autistic, soon-to-be 7-year-old. After doing my research, I understand, and I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am. I've started to delete comments that I've left on some of your videos from, the months prior. There's just so many. My entire TikTok has been, I was a leftist the entire time. And so I don't know that I will be able to delete every single mistake that I have made. However, please understand that I am very sorry. I understand that I was wrong, and I no longer align with any of that. I realize that this is going to cause me to lose a lot of followers. That's okay. I don't have that many to begin with. I've already lost my best friend over this, so you really can't hurt me. If you find yourself trying to criticize me or leaving hate comments, that's fine. I understand. I was like you. I did those things too. Also, like to apologize to this administration for being skeptical and for spreading misinformation and propaganda, leftist propaganda. I understand now, and I am in full support of this administration. And I, again, am so sorry. So sorry.
Have y'all seen that video of that woman who's pregnant in the state of Texas? This is her third baby and she's in her last trimester. Now, she's an older woman, so she's having some complications with the pregnancy and she's even high risk. She went to her OBGYN and her OBGYN is explaining to her that she probably should go to another state for the next few weeks and deliver her child in another state. And of course, the woman is confused because she's not understanding why the doctor thinks she should go to another state just because she's high risk. So the doctor explains to her that if that baby dies inside of her body and she goes into septic shock, they're not allowed to do anything. Because in the state of Texas, unless you go into labor naturally, the doctors can't push you into labor to try to save your life. The goal is to save the life of the child. And if the baby is unalived inside of her body could go into septic shock and she can die. And the only people who can do something for her is people who are not under these new abortion bans. The OBGYN explained to her that that's a late-term abortion. And this woman thought that a late-term abortion meant that a woman who did not want to have their child was giving birth to the baby, and then the doctors were unaliving the children after they were born. She called her husband, and her husband said, "This is a liberal doctor trying to push an agenda, and you need to find a new doctor." And now she's on the internet crying because she can't understand why her life can't be saved. Now, she voted for Donald Trump. She voted for Governor Abbott. She fully said that she is MAGA. And now she's worried that her children are going to grow up without a mom because of her vote. People who are pro-choice are not pro-abortion. People who are pro-choice are pro giving the woman the choice to choose whether or not her life should be impacted by a pregnancy. And now she's learning firsthand exactly how that choice could save her own life.
Hey MAGA voters, this message is for you. I know how excited you guys get every time one of these undocumented immigrants is stripped away, actually physically pulled away from their little children or their wives or their husbands and detained and put into a concentration camp surrounded by alligators and serpents. I know that gets you really excited, but I just thought I'd give you a quick lesson in macroeconomics, especially for those of you that have no money. You're about to go broke, and I'll tell you why. See, here's the thing about America. Undocumented immigrants are a fundamental piece of our economy. It will not work without them. See, many of these people, most of them, pay taxes. They get few benefits, but they do actually pay taxes. They grow the gross national product, and they hold the fabric of America together by doing jobs that spoiled Americans will not do. Okay? This also causes inflationary pressure, which means everything is going to get a lot more expensive. So every time you celebrate one of these poor people being detained and deported, just keep in mind, you're one person closer to going broke. You're going to lose everything you have. And remember who you voted for. You voted for someone who doesn't even know what macroeconomics means, doesn't know the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics, okay? You voted for a dunce, and he's going to be your undoing. But keep in mind that he's really rich, and all the people in the GOP that are sucking up to him, see, they're really rich too. So I hope you're really rich, because if you're not, you're going to go broke, and you're only going to have yourself to blame.
Ah, what a beautiful morning. So grateful that Trump got in office. Life is going to be so much easier again.
A few moments later.
So I just got the quote from the dentist in Mexico I've been looking to go see, because no offense to my current dentist in the United States, I love him. He does a really great job, and I wish I could go to him. I just can't afford dental care in the United States.
Own the libs. Are you winning yet? No, because you played yourself. These are the females who lack the spine and the courage to step into a private voting booth and vote to safeguard their own rights as women. They're so weak that they actively participate in their own downfall, allowing men to use them as tools to strip away their own rights and help strip away the rights of us all as women. This is what happens when you're gullible enough to fall for the conservative patriarchal illusion of a traditional family, where the man is supposed to be the leader, but in reality, that so-called provider is a failure, leaving you, his wife, so financially helpless that you are forced to rely on the very people that y'all demonize and cheer to be deported just to survive. Now look at you, crossing the border into Mexico. Yes, the same Mexico you clutch your pearls over just to be able to afford health care. You're out here bragging about voting for Trump, yet you can't even afford to put America first under Trump. You're out here fighting for white supremacy, but white supremacy ain't fighting for you. Make it make sense. And the best part, this is just a warm-up, so buckle up, because the real struggle hasn't even started yet.
So, I used to be a MAGA Republican. Let me just kind of explain why I jumped from MAGA over to Kamala Harris. So let me just kind of sit back and explain. It actually just happened recently. So let me just kind of back up. In 2016, I voted for Donald Trump. Why? Because I was afraid. I was scared of Clinton, and it worked. And all 4 years of Trump being in the office, I felt secured, I felt validated. And then after 2020, just like everyone else that's on that ship, I believed him. I genuinely believed that, our election was stolen. I believed that there was some mass conspiracy, and I genuinely felt the guy. I was like, whoa, if he's gonna get prosecuted, I could be next. And that was the narrative and the thought process that I was being fed. I also was listening to a lot of outlets and a lot of voices that validated my concerns, and that was the things that, and I don't want to say I was unwilling to listen to any other debate, but I was always afraid to have a debate with somebody. And that was what it's been ever since before the 2016 election. It was at a point where I was afraid to talk about my political beliefs, because I had seen my friends get attacked, like literally physically attacked, and had, their personal lives attacked. They had people around them that were attacked just for having a simple difference of opinion than somebody else. And then another thing that I was afraid of, which was being promoted quite a bit, was that there was a lot of illegal immigrants that were coming across the border, and they're hurting people, they're doing damage, they're hurting this country, XYZ. And I'm like, and I've always been pro-immigration. I'd always been pro-immigration. I'm like, yeah, immigrants are what make this country amazing, because they bring the best parts of their culture and the way they think about things and make this country better, make this country great. And that was what I was a staunch supporter of. But the biggest thing was, again, the thing that drove me the most to continue to back him was fear. It was the fear of other. It was the fear of somebody coming to hurt me. It was the fear of somebody coming to hurt my family. It was somebody, that was wanting to take away my livelihood. It was also the fear of just using my voice in general to either to be afraid of talking about the things that were important to me and to be afraid of even being knowledgeable about politics or anything like that. But what changed my mind this cycle, and I think this is probably very true for a lot of other Republicans, especially former MAGA Republicans like myself, former MAGA, was Kamala Harris. I don't know how it happened or why it happened, but she brought the joy of politics again. Like she has given us the confidence to say with our chest, like for me, I'm all about women's right to choose. Like it goes beyond abortion. It goes down to just basic specialized care that women need, whereas men don't need, you know? Mental health is another big thing that we all need to talk about too. Being able to find ways to, you know, secure our border, actually having a concise plan for, you know, for your average American as far as the economy goes, you know, being able to say, hey, look, we're going to tax this group of people because they have too much money, and then it's going to boil down and help fund programs to help average everyday Americans. You know, those things right there made me say, you know what? I shouldn't be afraid anymore. I shouldn't. That's been the key ticket for Donald Trump and a lot of other Republicans who stay behind Trump, who are loyal to him. Their platform is fear, and it has been fear. Fear of fear of invaders, fear of people coming and hurting you, the fear of somebody coming and taking your rights away, the fear of, you know, pushing the fear that if you don't vote for him, that you're going to be voting for some dictatorial type of government. And the policies that he has planned, the proposals that he has planned, are an overreaction to a supposed fear. And I keep using that word over and over again, but that's basically what the main reasons why was. I believed that we were doing better under Trump, back in 2016 through up to 2020. I felt that we were doing better, which was not true. You know, he carried on a lot of the policies from Obama, and we are currently living under Trump's tax plan right now. Like currently, I didn't realize that until I actually dug a little deeper. But my point is that I switched because I felt happy. I felt good about it. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's finally have a discussion. Let's talk about things. Let's not be afraid anymore. Let's actually think about things. And, you know, and like I keep saying on all my other videos, just keep letting him talk. And him talking was what drove me to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So anyway, wanted to give you guys insight. I was a former MAGA Republican. I was fervently behind Donald Trump, but as you can see from my last videos, that's clearly not the case. Please continue to have these respectful, honest, really, really respectful discussions. It really does mean a lot. Thank you guys. Keep going. Move forward.
Welcome back, and I hope you have watched full commentary of the videos. At first, the white folks voted for this system against their own wish, against their own will, against their own interest. They had hidden interest when they voted for this system. They knew when they vote for this system, it will favor them and unfavor the black folks. They voted for this system because of racism. They wanted to have supremacy and that power over the black folks. They knew when they are in power, they will do anything they want to the black folks. They knew when they voted for this system, it will give them power over the black folks. They will rule the black folks. They will have say over the black folks. But they didn't know that this government will one day come against them, and they will face the wrath that they wanted the black people to face. We have seen recently the white folks have come out and isolate themselves in building their white-only towns. They don't want to mingle with the black people. They wanted to isolate themselves so badly, but now they are coming out and begging even the black folks to come in and help them, because the life has come out to be harsh on their sides. But when they look upon the black people, they are seeing the black people are striving through this harsh economy. Now they are wondering why this government is favoring the black people, while in the first place it was meant to favor them. Now they are saying that they are regretting, because what they expected to be, it is now a nightmare to them. What they wanted to be, it is now coming against them. They voted for this government because of racism. They wanted to rule over others, but now the economy is the one that is ruling over them. We have seen so many white people coming out and saying that now they are jobless. This government has made them jobless because of living standard. It has risen very fast. Others are saying that they have lost the investment of so many years. Others are saying that they have been left stranded. They don't have jobs, they don't have investment, they have nothing. Others have saying that they have lost even their family due to lack of money to take care of their families. Now they have left with nothing. They are now starting from square zero. They don't know where to go to, they don't know what to do about it. And secondly, these white folks voted for this government because of deportation of immigrants. They thought that the immigrants that they were in the country, they are the ones who are taking over their jobs. What they didn't know is that these immigrants were the one who were working in their farms. Now the migrants were deported. They don't have people to come and work for their farms. We have seen others losing their farms because there are no people coming and working on them. We have seen others are burning crops on their farms because there are no people who are coming and to uproot the crops from the farms. The crops are rotting in those farms, and the only solution for them is for them to burn those crops. And even if they have people to harvest their crops, they don't have market to take their crops to, because of the trade war that is ongoing between the various countries that are in partnership with the America. And now they are saying that they want the government to build them out from that trade war, so that they could have a market for their crops, so that they could have money. The others are depending on those farms for their livelihood. Now when the trade war is going on, they don't have money to keep them for living. Others are saying that they were depending on government for handouts. Now the government has stopped providing for them. They don't have money to take care of themselves. We have seen even the white folks coming out and saying that the government have stopped the medical covers that they were paying for them. Even the medical cover for their kids are now not functioning. If you take your child to hospital, you are being told to pay the medical cover is not working. Now people are wondering, we have lost our jobs, we have lost our investment, we have lost our livelihood. Where on earth will we get money to treat our children, to treat ourselves in this harsh economy? We have seen them coming out and crying that this economy is being harsh on them. The price of things have skyrocketed. The price of basic ones have skyrocketed. They have nothing to provide for their kids because they don't have money, and the price of things have skyrocketed. The living standard now it's higher than they were expected. They were promised that if they elect this government, it will reduce the living standard, the living cost of things in the government. They were promised that when this government is in power, it will make America to be a better country than before. They were told that if this system is being voted in the power, it will make the America the great America like before. So they believed and they came out in large number and voted for this government. I have seen others coming out and saying that the level of unemployment has risen due to other factories are closing down because they lack raw material, because the government has increased their taxes. Other factories have become bankrupt. They don't have money to facilitate their works. They don't have money to facilitate their functioning. They don't have money to pay their employees. So in result of that, it leads to unemploying people. People are being sacked. People are losing their jobs each and every time, each and every day. People are coming out and saying that they have lost their jobs, they have lost their livelihood, they have lost their investment. They don't know what is going on in the country. They are coming out to beg for help. So guys, what is your thoughts on this today's topic? Please write your thoughts at the comment section. We will be reading them at our next video. And if this is the first time of you coming across my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, put a thumbs up and share. See you in my next video. Bye bye.